aha, aha. And I thought my jokes were bad. 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's up? I took my beanie off really quick, and my hair's all messed up now. Oh no. What am I gonna do? Yeah, bring on Bama basketball. Oh wait, they're supposed to be pretty good this year, I think. They're supposed to be pretty good. I don't know. Is Arkansas better? I guess we'll find out, hopefully, by conference play. So, sorry, the hair's all. I know that was disappointing as hell, and not that anybody should be shocked that Bama smoked the Hogs. I mean, that's not supposed to shock anybody. I just wanted some positives out of this game. That's all I was asking for. Maybe special teams finally does something great. I mean, yeah, the punt return against Mizzou, that's the biggest accomplishment this team has all year. That is the biggest accomplishment. Nine games under 5 total punt return yards in 9 games. They got to be one of the most penalized special teams in all of Power 5 football. Missed field goals, blocked extra points. Fountain, I truly, in a year where you're trying to figure out what you're going to do in terms of keeping guys on board, you've already asked your staff to take salary cuts. And there's a pretty good chunk of college football teams who don't have special teams coordinators. I don't know that there's a hill that you want to die on that says we need to keep Scott Fountain another year. Please present to me a solid argument outside of, well, there's personnel problems with special teams. Guys, it doesn't take personnel to get everybody lined up. Go back and look at the mistakes and tell me that that's a personnel problem. Punt return for a touchdown, you could say on the field that's where personnel's a problem. That's about the only bright spot they have is they haven't given up more tutties on special teams. Like, that's the only real positive thing I think you can look at this year. Punt coverage got better as the year went on. Didn't Reed Bauer have like a 35-yard punt earlier in this game? And I'm not putting that on Fountain. Again, that is on the individual player to make that play to get that ball further downfield. You know, you can only work with what you have. That I get. With that particular situation where you've got a punter or a kicker that's missing points, I don't put that on special teams, coach. You line them up, and they get out there. And if they don't do it, they don't do it. You don't have a great kicker on staff. You don't have a great punter on your roster. You don't have a great kicker. You don't have a great punter. That's not on Scott Fountain. But the flags, the penalties, not getting lined up right. I don't know how if you've got a kicker that continuously kicks the ball out of bounds, why do you continue to start with that kicker? Because now they get to start at the 35-yard line. Why has there not been a change there? I don't know. I special teams, it's every single week there's a gaffe, and it's expected. And that should never be the expectation from your special teams, ever. And it is every week. So I don't know. If you're going to die on that hill that you have to give him another year simply because of him having a lack of personnel, good luck. Now, does he get fired? No. Him and Sam Pittman are boys. He'll stick it out, and maybe he'll do better down the road. But I think, he can't do any worse. Let's be real. You can't do any worse. You are going to get some more bodies, and I think that'll help on some things, right? But, again, look at your punt return yardage. 9 games combined, you've had, 5 yards? 5 yards of punt return yards. You had more return yards in a single punt return today than you've had all year. Yeah. Good luck dying on that hill, Scott Fountain. I don't know. Sacks were, that's my thumbnail. 8 sacks. That's what you gave up. It's the most. I don't think did Chad Morris ever give up 8 sacks? Again, that's, you've got injuries up front. You're playing a really good Bama defense. That's not a reflection of Sam Pittman. That's not a reflection of Kendall Briles or the offensive line coach. If anything, that's just a statement of how good they are up front, how good Alabama is, and you had some injuries up front. Ricky Stromberg didn't play. On defense, you didn't have Grant Morgan. But I was wanting something positive out of this game, and they don't exist. There's nothing to really be positive about. I don't know. Someone might have to remind me. I truly don't know what's positive about what happened in this game. There's more to walk away from, like, oh my God, what just happened? They never looked like they even got out of the locker room for this football game. Sloppy. The Catalan pick, that sucks that didn't stand. That's on Henry. That was clearly targeting. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Look, we got to call it like it is. Also, punt return by Alabama. We had a player on special teams. I talked about it on the Facebook halftime show. Disgraceful. Clearly a player tried to harm their star player, future first-round prospect, tried to hurt the kid. There's no room for that. That's not Arkansas football. I asked everyone over there to tag media on special teams for them to call out Sam Pittman or to ask him. And I'm not blaming Sam Pittman. I'm not blaming Scott Fountain. I'm not blaming anybody but that player that made that mistake. Well, we'll call it a mistake. For that player to do that needs to be, we need to address that. There's no room for that in sports on any level. Unsportsmanlike doesn't even cover what that was. That was embarrassing. On top of the blowout at home, you have to look back on that and go, that's just as bad as anything. We had someone that is in a Razorback jersey that was trying to, on purpose, harm an Alabama football player. Trying to harm an Alabama, a member of the Alabama football team on the field by twisting his ankle, whatever. I posted on Twitter. Go back and watch it. You tell me that wasn't intentional. That was clearly intentional. He should not, if Arkansas does play in a bowl game, he shouldn't dress out. I think he's a walk-on. Someone tagged me on who he is on Twitter. I don't know. That was embarrassing. I'm pretty disappointed with today on all sorts of levels. I knew this was going to be at least a 25-30 point loss. Did not think it would be this big of a blowout. I told you guys I thought they would cover, and then on the halftime show I told you they're not going to cover unless they can get something figured out on offense. Defense, just you can't stop Alabama. No one's stopping Alabama. They had their second and third string guys in the third quarter. There was no, if they had left their starters in, this could have very easily been a 72-3 game. They just don't have the ponies. They don't have the horses up front. They don't have it. On top of injuries, they're just not anywhere near the level. Like they're in Andromeda. They're in the Andromeda galaxy while Arkansas is still floating around. They're the moon around planet Earth, which is the SEC right now. I don't know. I was trying to think of a good comparison. They're not in the same universe as Bama, as the Clemsons, as the Ohio States, the Floridas. But I really thought when Bama subbed out their guys in the second half, okay, now maybe we can find some sort of rhythm. I texted the Hog Talk guys earlier today. I don't know if any of them are in chat or not, but I said putting KJ in that situation was you put him in a really, really bad situation. And, Kevin Bohannon said, well, they did the same thing against LSU. Okay, this is different because you started Felipe Franks. He's clearly not 100%. Then you see that there's something going on, that he's struggling physically. Then you bench him to put KJ in, only to then sub him back out, or to bring Franks back in, only to bring KJ back out, who then gets injured in the second half. So that's not a coaching thing. That's him clearly. I think he actually went to the locker room. Thoughts and prayers with KJ. I hope he's okay. Before he got hurt, he made a very impressive throw. What was that, on third down? KJ has it. KJ is the guy, for people who are saying he's not the guy earlier in the season. He's clearly the guy. I don't know why Malik Hornsby wasn't. I wanted to see Malik. At that point, I thought Franks, they're not going to play him if they're really concerned about his health. Why do you play him? How much of that was Franks? God bless him. That kid, he's a fighter, man. Franks wanted to be in there. But why does the staff then not say, let's put Malik Hornsby out there? I don't understand that. I wanted to see Malik. I wanted to see this super speedy dual threat quarterback. I wanted to see him go out there and do his thing. And he provides a completely different element to the game because of how fast he is outside of the pocket, because he could probably run the RPO at the very least as effective as KJ, if not more effectively than KJ, just from a running standpoint. We don't know what he looks like as far as a throwing quarterback. Maybe that's why. Maybe they were just terrified of letting him out there. I don't know why you put KJ Jefferson back out on the field. But anyways, I thought what they did earlier in that game, either you start KJ Jefferson or you play Felipe Franks, and if he's hurt, then you sub him out. That makes sense. You sub him out, then you bring KJ in. But if he clearly wasn't the guy, it's just like last week against Mizzou. You don't start him. But then for them to turn around in the second half and to put him back in is just confusing. I truly don't know what's going on behind. I don't know what they're doing behind KJ right now. And that's a legitimate question to ask for any team. Like, who's your third guy? If KJ's injury is big time, if it's a big time, we don't know. If you ask me at that point now with Franks out, and we're going way beyond the game here for just a second, but if Franks does indeed go to the draft, I don't think he plays in the bowl game. But boy, I tell you, the bowl game, you could see Malik Hornsby play in the bowl game. Because if KJ is significantly injured, if it's something where he needs to sit out for a while, now you have legitimate questions about what you're doing at quarterback from here on out. Because clearly they don't think Malik is ready, and they don't think he's the guy. Do you now reach for the transfer portal? Do you look at some grad transfer options? What do you do at quarterback? A lot of questions to be asked right there. Again, we don't know how severe KJ's injury was. We don't know. Let me get back to chat here really quick. Wow, chat's super active, as expected. He needs to be kicked off the team. At Ty, it's hard to like anything today, but I gave you – oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, guys, do me a favor. Give me a like if you would. Let's get it up to – I don't know. Let's get it up to like – there's 57 people. Can we get to like 40 likes? Let's do that. Let's get to 40 likes. We could do it together. Just take a second and click the like button. Well, I didn't get to see the game. Was this about Scott Fountain? No, it was not about Scott Fountain. It wasn't about Kendall Browse, in my opinion. It wasn't about Barry Odom. It wasn't about Sam Pittman. It was just the product on the field, the guys on the field, not the product, because the coaches are ultimately responsible for the product. We've seen what they can do this year. It felt to me like nobody got out of the locker room. Nobody bothered to dress out today. I cannot tell you why they came out so flat, other than, yeah, Bama is clearly the best team in college football. You have that to deal with, I get. But even against their second and third string, they still couldn't get anything going. You gave up 8 sacks. Again, you're missing some parts up front on the offensive line. Ricky Stromberg didn't play. Ty Clary, I think, got the start at center. It just looked flat. Defense, this game was tied. It's so hard to believe at the bottom of the first quarter this thing was tied at 3, and then Alabama just took off. Their special teams, elite. Their offense, elite. Their defense, elite. They play all phases of the game, and they do it exceedingly well. I really thought our O-line would have taken a larger leap forward this year, but other than Flash is not impressed. I think the question that I have for Razorback fans, has the way this year ended, the last 4 or 5 games, going back to Tennessee, I guess, has it done anything negatively or positively to from your mindset about being excited for next year? And my answer be, as a fan, no. I was really disappointed with the way they ended this year. Doesn't take anything away from what they accomplished. You won 3 games in the SEC when you weren't expected to win a single one. You weren't expected. Most people had you written off between maybe 1 win if you were lucky. I had Arkansas at 2-8, and they went out and won 3. You very – I mean, and I know we all want to say quote-unquote 4, right, with the asterisks. I get it. You were in on 5 games, possibly 6. You very well, if had things gone Arkansas's way – I mean, who are we kidding, right? Had things gone Arkansas's way, you could have been at least a 4-win team, at most a 6-4 football team. You should be excited about the path that you're on, but the way this year ended did absolutely nothing, I think, for most Hog fans. You know, when we start talking preseason football come this summer, getting into August, I'll just say I don't really expect many more viewers on this channel. I don't expect Trey Biddy's going to struggle to see growth. Hog Talk will probably, we're growing at a really good rate, but like you can see it in the analytics. You can. I've been doing this now for how long? 3 or 4 years. I can't remember when I started this damn channel. Didn't start doing the live stuff till what? A little over a year ago, I think. Didn't really hop on creating solely content for this channel up until 2 years ago, but I've been doing this long enough. You can see the reflection of when fans are excited and when they're not. And I'm going to tell you, spring football, you'll see a spike. Signing day, early signing day, there's going to be a spike, right? Bowl game, there'll be a spike in terms of people wanting Razorback football content. Spring, and then as far as gaining new subscribers, new viewers, it's gonna remain stagnant, and that's just part of it when you're following a football program right now. That the optics, not that is the case, but that the optics are as bad as they are. Arkansas still is a dumpster fire in the terms of like the grand scheme of college football, right? We know as Hog fans that's not the case. They're not a dumpster fire. They're far better. But when you talk about people that are just kind of getting into college football or young Razorback fans, there's not a lot of hype and excitement. You don't see people walking around with number 15 jerseys, Razorback jerseys, number 5, Darren McFadden, Ryan Mallett jerseys. You don't see the younger audience clinging on to a football program that is right now still struggling. Doesn't take away what they accomplished this year. Doesn't take away that, again, they very realistically should have been a 4-win team, could have very easily been a 5-win team. Things just didn't go in Arkansas's favor. But going back to this game, Catalan is really the only bright spot on defense. That interception that got wiped was just depressing. I really was wanting that to stand because that guy's a baller. It was really cool to hear ESPN call him an All-American. That was really cool. Everyone wants to give up and throw in the towel when we get steamrolled by Bama, get a grip. We played like crap, but we have competed more times than not this year. No, you're not wrong. Remember, we were said to have the most difficult schedule in the NCAA football this year. If you look at a potential 6-4 with this with this condensed COVID SEC season, you got to be excited. At least Chad Morris is at Auburn. Yeah, like I said, guys, the optics for people who are kind of casual fans, right? Arkansas is still a dumpster fire, right? And of course, people jump off the bandwagon when you get smoked. That's natural. That's what happens everywhere. No matter who we get for the bowl game, we need to finish on a good win, and that's what I'm saying. And that was the point that I was going to come back to. It would be so great just for the hype of next season, for the excitement of Razorback football. There's a potential. We don't know what COVID's going to look like in 9 months. We don't know what it's going to look like. We don't know how it's going to affect the offseason. We've got this vaccination floating around now, or will by then. So we don't know, but maybe if they open up, if let's just say that the numbers are down, they're trending down, which is good, right? And COVID numbers are way down. They start letting more and more fans in. I would love to see 25, 30, 40, however many they allow. I would love to see that maximum number that's allowed in Fayetteville in these games. So hype and excitement is a part of that, And so you've got to, and also something that Houston Nutt once said, you've got to build off the momentum that you end on in the previous year. I can remember him talking about that a long time ago when he was a head coach. You got to build off the momentum. Right now there is none. There's not a whole lot of momentum to build off of. So that bowl game gives you that possibility of if you get a win. And by the way, Schleybaugh is projected multiple times. Now CBS Sports just recently, late last week, projected Arkansas and Texas in the Texas Bowl. I don't know if that's still a reality. CBS Sports made this pick before Bama. And I think they knew very well Arkansas was going to get smashed against Bama. So they might still have Arkansas playing Texas, and that would be great if that's who you get. That'd be awesome. I would love that. I don't know if you win that one or not. I don't know enough about Texas to go there just yet. If that is the case in the Texas Bowl, that would create a lot of excitement if you could find a way to get a dub there. All I wanted for Christmas this year is either Mizzou or Auburn, and all I got was an elephant up the butt. I'm not sure we want Coastal. I'm not sure we want Coastal. No. I don't want a bowl game. We don't deserve a tie. This is Crazy Hog. Yeah, I think they do. I think they deserve a bowl game, all things considered. Someone mentioned, the COVID and how they were affected. You go back again, LSU, you win that game if you don't get Catalan ejected, if you have your defensive line who were pummeled by COVID-19 in that game, you win that ball game. Auburn, we know you won that ball game. And then you look at the Mizzou game, you didn't have Catalan. Morgan exits the game with an injury. By the way, he didn't play again today, as I think I mentioned that earlier. No, they deserve to be in a bowl game. I disagree. I think they do. They're keeping their coach at Texas. Well, the rumor is Urban Meyer turned it down, right? Can we try the quote-unquote trick play in the bowl game? I think it'll work this time. Mike, I think you've harped on that a couple times, buddy. Mike Lane is not a fan of that play, everybody. And I don't blame him because neither am I. How many times has that happened? Was that the second pick for Treylon Burks off that stupid – the receiver pass, like the video. Let's see, I see you're saying to like the video. Like the video, y'all. We can be disappointed, but Bama is going to win a natty. Mark my word. Oh yeah. Okay with that. Who would you want in a bowl game? Honestly, it's always fun to beat Texas, but what's the record against Texas in bowl games? Right, you're 2-0. And I feel like that might be in jeopardy if you play Texas this year. I really don't know who I would want. I haven't thought about it yet. Let me think on that, and I'll get back to you. We dropped 3. We should have won. How is that good? How is that good enough to go bowling? I don't understand. We dropped 3. We should have won. How is that good enough to go bowling? I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory, right? I mean, you go by the quality of the team, and those losses were close losses, and it was an all-conference schedule, right? And, I mean, you don't think that just the effort alone that they should at least, especially this year, there's no minimum. There's no minimum threshold, Brandon, versus Kenny. There's no minimum threshold. And so they're just picking teams. Why wouldn't you want Arkansas in a bowl game this year? I don't understand. I think they absolutely deserve to be in a bowl game. Close games, close losses. The Auburn game, we all know, hell, everyone but the SEC will admit Arkansas won that game. That's 4 wins. You don't think 3 conference wins in any other year would be enough? Because then you have to consider your non-conference games at that point, which you don't play this year, but I think Arkansas wins at least 3 more of their non-conference games if they played that full 12-game schedule. So that would be 6-6. So I don't know. All right, I'm gonna go. Everyone like the video. Oh well, okay. Considering we could have won 3 non-con games plus 3 that we did, that's bowl eligible in our regular schedule. Exactly. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. I thought. I don't know. Mike Lane, we need the bowl game for the extra practice regardless. I'm looking forward to it. And that's the other thing I don't understand. Hog fans who don't want to go to a bowl game, it's bizarre to me. That's more practice, right? That's more reps. That's more of an opportunity to grow as a football team, and you don't want to play? I don't understand. Please no Coastal. Plus, we wouldn't have played Georgia or Florida exactly. You added, and that's the other thing. How tough was the schedule? It was the hardest schedule, arguably, in college football history. And you don't think 3 conference games, 3 wins on that schedule, on a 10-game schedule, isn't enough? Okay. I mean, that's on you, I guess. I want Wake Forest. Bring on Wake Forest. I don't know anything about Wake Forest. I'll be honest. I've concentrated solely on SEC and Arkansas football this year. Thomas Nunley, what it be, Ty? What's up, Thomas? How you doing? Overall, proud of our Hogs this year. Was given the short end of the stick with the disrespect from the SEC off the rip. Boy, you're not wrong there with that scheduling. Got some unexpected wins, more continued disrespect. Beating Tennessee, which ended up not being that great of a win, but beating Mizzou, beating Mississippi State, which ended up not being that great. But again, you go back, you look, Auburn was a dub. Auburn was a salty team. They weren't a good football team. Should have beaten LSU. There's no doubt about that. I think Arkansas. I mean, it's hard to say after what we witnessed today, but I think head to head, Arkansas was a better team than Mizzou last week. You didn't have your starting quarterback. KJ performed admirably. No one's arguing that. But then you look at Catalan being ejected for an entire half. You lost Morgan. You had that bullshit penalty on Joseph Fouché for crossing his arms. That had a major impact on the game because it continues the series, which eventually a play or two later you end up losing Morgan on that same series, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of ifs, ands, or buts there, but I guess it is just what it is. Effort shouldn't be our standard. But this year's entirely different. I think you're missing out on the whole point there, Brandon. It's not just solely about effort. You have to consider the circumstances in which teams face this year when you're talking about COVID-19. You're playing a conference-only schedule in, again, what is probably the hardest schedule in college football history. No, Arkansas, I think, absolutely deserves to be in a bowl game. He does go on to say, I am proud of the Hogs. I would love a bowl game. I fear Chad was the last straw and we all just ready to take any moral W. We were taking moral victories at the end of Brett Bielema's career at Arkansas. It was hard to end. It was hard to end of a good note. Well, chat, hang on. How difficult schedule? Let's see. We had our toughest games at the end, in my opinion. Mizzou, you should have beat Mizzou. I think regardless, you should have beat Mizzou. But you look at the way that game unfolded, the defense was atrocious. The second half of this season was very disappointing, extremely disappointing. Especially when you look at the defense in the first five compared to the defense in the last five. Now you make up for it a little bit in offensive play, but then you fast forward to Bama. You can't even move the ball against their third string defense. I was really, and it's still kind of understandable because of how great Bama is. I get that, but just still a very, very disappointing game. Either way you want to look at it against Bama, there are no positives to take away from this outside of it looked like Catalan and Bumper Pool were in on about 20 tackles. That's great. Jenna says, shit. How many teams did we play that were in the top 25? It's a very good point. Beating Vandy and only having one win this year would have been one more than I expected. Okay, that's how far we have fallen in my eyes. Give us middle of the road Sun Belt team in a bowl game. Is that what you're saying? We did have to play the Irish. We did have to play the Irish team, so that was one of the non-conference games. That would be your only non-conference loss, in my opinion. So, I'm triggering folks on Twitter. This guy says to me, I think he used to be in our chat. I don't really know. Austin Shyrock on Twitter. He's triggered everybody. I made him so mad. I don't even know what made him mad. He didn't reply to a tweet of mine. He just tags me and he says, bro. I love this. I'm sorry. When I piss someone off this much, it's just comedy at this point. Bro, get another job. You aren't good at the one you do. How being negative about a football team on YouTube makes you somewhat relevant is hilarious. Is a hilarious life to live. Go be sad in your own corner or switch teams. Oh, I'm drinking your. Where's a cup? I'm drinking your tears, Austin. Oh, Oh, so tasty, so tasty. Oh, you poor little snowflake, son of a bitch. You are so triggered, Austin. That was hilarious. I read that and I just immediately started cracking up. Well, you're not allowed to be skeptical. How dare you, sir? It is officially basketball season. It is. They play UCA tonight. Yeah, that's cream soda Dr. Pepper, by the way. Your tears taste like cream soda Dr. Pepper, Austin. It's delicious. I'm triggered, folks, y'all, and I'm surprised because it's usually LSU fans I make mad. What a snowflake. I swear to God. I'm pretty sure he's been in our chat. I recognize that name. Poor Austin. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. UCA tonight. When is that game, y'all? What time is that game? It's by the way, Mizzou, for everyone who is Kyle, you guys need to go tag Kyle Sutherland. Kyle says that Drinkowitz was coach of the year. He said they ought to be nominated, and I get his argument, right? I get his argument. Okay, they held Bama. Look, they lost to Bama 38-19. At this point, that is damn impressive. But then they lose to Tennessee. Their most quality win, I would argue, was probably Kentucky. Go check that score. They got smashed. At one point, I think it was 49. No, I think it was 49-14. That's what the game ended on. You guys should go tag him. Unless he's in chat, say Ty told us to tag you and to tell you that Drinkowitz is most certainly should not be in the running for Coach of the Year. I don't know if he should or shouldn't. He honestly, a friend of mine actually, Jeff Yeager, tweeted, and I retweeted what he said. I thought he made a good point. What did he really do? Did he? And here's what I would argue: what did he take over versus what someone like Sam Pittman took over, right? Or now Mike Leach has obviously gone way downhill compared to maybe Mississippi State jumped the gun a little bit, firing their coach. Lane Kiffin should be in that conversation more than Drinkowitz, if you want my opinion. I'm not saying Drinkowitz should or shouldn't. Okay, I look at his win-loss like he's not beating anybody worth a damn. Okay, and they had a really easy freaking schedule in the SEC East. They had a really easy schedule in the East. Your most difficult games. One of them did they end up making up the Georgia game, the Vanderbilt game? Yeah, they did. Okay, they won 41-0. Okay, you get smashed by Florida 41-17. You get smashed by Georgia 49-14. They're going to play Mississippi State. I think that game is still on for the 19th. And they should win that game. And they're going to finish 6-4. But it's like, look at their quality of wins. They don't have any. There's no quality of wins. And they don't have any moral victories, in my opinion. Now, they will end up with more with twice as many victories, but look at who they came against. Who have they beaten that's worth a shit? They beat LSU, Kentucky, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, and Arkansas, none of which have winning records. They're going to stomp Mississippi State. They're going to beat Mississippi State probably 60-10. Should Drinkowitz be in the conversation? I don't know, maybe. I'm sure. I'll give it to him. He should maybe be in the conversation. But no. Saban will be your coach of the year, and then probably Dan Mullen's runner-up, and then your next guy up, I think, should be there's other – you could make – who else am I trying to think of? Jimbo Fisher should be in that conversation as well. So Jimbo Fisher is who we're not talking about. Jimbo, this was a year A&M was looked at as like a 6-win conference, 6 or 7-win conference team. 7 is still pretty good. But they're going to go the year, they're going to lose one game all year. Missouri didn't have to play A&M. Okay? They didn't have to play Texas A&M. They didn't have to play the thick of the SEC West. They did play Bama. I'll give them that. They played them pretty good, but then they go on the road. They lose to a bad Tennessee football team. They barely beat a horrible LSU football team. And then the rest, it's like they lose who you expect them to lose to. I don't know. Again, he's not my coach of the year. He should be 4th on that list maybe. And that's not because I hate Mizzou. Honestly, Mizzou's kind of an afterthought. Like, I really don't – I like making fun of them. I like targeting them. I like calling them meth heads, but – Jimbo did very well this season. I think Jimbo, should definitely be in that conversation more than Drinkowitz. Absolutely, we should have finished 6-4. Honestly, says Ashton, and I agree 110%. So, I think with the pit boss, let's see. I think with the pit boss as head hog, 2022 will be an awesome year. Does anyone think we lose Kendall Briles? I've heard his name pop up for several jobs now. No, Dorkowicz deserves nothing but a punch in the face by me, says Sean. I'm going to give you one of the old kisser. All right. I've been asked if I'm doing a post game tonight for UCA. I can't make up my mind if I am or not. I kind of want to because it is historical. This will be I think the 7th time they've played UCA. I believe it's the 7th time. Obviously, the Hogs are 6-0 all time against them. So it is, it's fun to think about. But I don't know if I am or not. Just click the bell. Oh, look at that. We're at 42 likes. We're at 42 likes. Make sure you click the bell, the notification bell. If you guys, you'll get an alert. Hopefully you'll get an alert. I know those alerts are not going out. The notifications aren't going out like they're supposed to. Again, I apologize. I don't know what's going on. They're still having trouble with links. I don't know what's going on. And it's really, I've only noticed a few other YouTubers really complaining about this, but it's just pisses me off. I think everyone else, it's just an expectation that YouTube is not working the way it should. But 55 people in chat. Like that damn like button. Hit the like button. That's right. Do me a favor. Now, you guys see this right here. Join the PTN Patreon. Okay? Hey, if you liked what I did this year covering the Razorbacks, I don't think I missed a single game. I didn't miss a single halftime game over on Facebook, and I didn't miss a post game this year. Hey, if you guys like that, come join the PTN Patreon. If you want more of that, basketball will probably be similar to last year. Once we get into conference play, I'm going to try my best to cover that as much as I can in terms of post-game. We'll see. Those are double the games, obviously. You're going from one game every Saturday to now 2 games a week. You'll just have to I don't know. I don't know if I should tell you that, yes, expect every post-game or to maybe, I don't know. We'll play it by ear. For right now, that's my official stance as far as the post-game shows for basketball. I don't know if I'm going to do one tonight. Again, hit the notification bell if you want to come be a part of this. If you guys, again, if you love what I did this year, right there, because, hey, look, you guys, Austin says I'm not good at this job, so maybe you can help me prove him wrong by joining the PTN Patreon. If you don't want to do that, it's a minimum of $4 a month. If you don't want to do that, you can throw a tip in the old tip jar if you'd like to. There's a PayPal link provided for you down below in the description box. So go check that out. Noties are killing your likes, Ty. Oh, noties are killing me, period, man. They're killing me. There's nothing I can do about it. I can gripe and moan. It's not like YouTube cares. KJ should have played the entire game and allowed to find rhythm. Well, I mean, he couldn't help that he couldn't finish the game. He got hurt. But I do believe he should have started. I do agree. Ty with the spirit fingers over the Patreon link. It's my Goku spirit bomb. Any DBZ nerds? Yeah. Okay. Again, if you don't want to join the PTN Patreon, it's cool. I get it. But if you want to throw a tip in the tip jar, those links are all provided for you down below in the description box. Hog Talk. I think that link is actually wrong. I think because we've moved once again our site where all of our stuff is. But do me a favor, if you guys don't already, also subscribe to us on iTunes on the Hog Talk. Rate and review the podcast. Give us a written review. We love reading the written reviews. They're so fun. So, Frank's killed his own momentum by standing. He did. I agree with that, Sean, but I don't think you did KJ any favors by bringing him in, taking him out, putting him back out. I don't think you did him any favors. Quarterback play was not very good today, and that's not – Felipe Franks got off to a really good start, but – you can't find momentum when you're subbing guys in and out at quarterback. That's Chad Morris level bullshit is what that is. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. We understand why KJ exited the game later. Okay, that was not a coaching thing. He got hurt. That's understandable. But then you put Franks back out on the field. Why not Malik? Why not somebody else? I don't know. That was bizarre. So, no, he should have started. I don't know who you're talking to. If you're talking to me, I agree. I'm not saying you're wrong, but they should have left. If Franks, and I'll just say this: if Franks was really hurt, why would you risk his future? Why would you risk his future? I don't understand that. I will be relieved to make it to next season with both coordinators. Honestly, after that, I believe we're on borrowed time with Odom and Bryles. No, you're on borrowed time now. I agree. You're on borrowed time right now. Tuesday after conference championships is when they will announce bowl matchups. Oh, you're right. Yeah, Alex is correct. Okay. All right, I'm going to end it there. You guys enjoy the basketball game. UCA, obviously, I think Arkansas just slaughters UCA tonight. Assuming they don't, I don't know, have one of those regressive type games, but I don't think they do. UCA is not very good, but that's tonight at 7 p.m. Again, make sure you click the notification bell so you know when I go live, so you get that notification. Hopefully, God willing, you get notifications. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Yeah, almost 92% according to ESPN's Basketball Power Index. Arkansas's favored. Okay, we're gonna do this. Woo Pig Suey. I will. I might see you tonight, but I will see you next week. Again, check out. Let's all collectively laugh at Austin. He says I'm bad at my job. Prove him wrong. Right here. Woo Pig. I'll see you guys later.